Hey, my name is Jumpy. How are you? I'm not done talking about Ty West movies. I've been meaning to rewatch the original Cabin Fever movie for a while, long before I saw Thanksgiving, and I've never seen the second Cabin Fever. Back in February, after I watched Maxine, I thought there was no better time to have that double feature. Double Fever. The first movie was released in 2003. Eli Roth directed it, came up with the story, and co wrote the script. It's about five college kids who go to a cabin in the woods and they get infected by a flesh eating virus. It's a competently done little horror film with a good atmosphere and some effective moments. But it's also a comedy. Some of it is awkward and does not work, but I did laugh pretty hard at times. Winston the cop is my favorite character, and I think the Pancakes Kid and the Eli Roth cameo are really funny as well, as are a lot of other interactions. One of the parts that stuck with me the most from the first time I saw the movie is the shaving scene. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. It's nowhere near as bad as I remembered it being. It's still gruesome, don't get me wrong, but it's not something I'll dread the next time I rewatch this movie. Spoilers from here on out for the first movie. Now we get to the sequel, 2009's Cabin Fever 2 Spring Fever. It's still spring in the Northern Hemisphere when I'm uploading this video. That means I'm doing better than when I got my Christmas movie review videos out in late March and early April, respectively. Cabin Fever 2 was directed by Ty West, and he co-wrote the story. The movie begins where the last one ended. When we last saw Paul, played by Ryder Strong, he was infected with the virus, and Winston the cop left him for dead in the water. But Paul isn't dead. He gets up, crawls out of the water, and walks to the road and gets hit by a school bus and explodes. Winston, who's played by Giuseppe Andrews, shows up and tells the bus driver it was a moose and not to worry. This character is great and my favorite in this movie as well. There's also a song inspired by Twin Peaks that plays here. Then we get an animated opening credits sequence showing the river water that's infected with the virus getting put into bottles at the Down Home Water Factory and delivered to the Springfield High School and offered to the students there. Of course, this is also the same school as the bus that hit Paul. The animation is fine, I'm just not the biggest fan of the crude art style. We then meet John and his friend Alex. John has a crush on Cassie, who just broke up with her boyfriend Mark, who's a comically over-the-top asshole. This movie feels like adults writing kids and getting it wrong. One movie I've talked about in the past is Unhuman from 2022, and that one has really bad dialogue that's very forced. But here, it does it in a charming way that's entertaining. It felt like they were having fun and not trying to get it right at all, and parts of it made me laugh. John and Cassie have a few moments together that are sweet, like when he asks her to the prom, which is that night. I can't say I was too invested in their relationship, but I cared more than I did about Ryder Strong and Jordan Ladd from the first movie. Also, John and Alex have some good interactions together, like the phone call when he tells John that he has to get dressed and go to prom. And there's John's other friends who want him to watch a graphically violent horror movie that's been banned in many countries with them that night. That feels like something Ty West came up with, and I love the specificity of it. I also need to give a shout out to the custodian who watches in anger as kids do things until he gets his revenge. That was pretty funny. Like the first Cabin Fever, there are jokes that fall flat and moments that are weird. Later on, Winston goes to a diner to make a reference to the first movie, but then another customer is infected with the virus and dies in a wonderfully bloody scene. And there are some fun moments of splatter violence throughout the movie. Sometimes the effects are a bit iffy, like someone vomiting up blood and the tube not being positioned quite right. But I'll take it. Winston puts it together that the bottled water is infected. He's actually not a bad detective here. and he goes to the bottling plant to investigate. Meanwhile, prom starts, and some mysterious special forces government people show up and lock down the school, and chaos begins. The movie is in a 2:3:5 to 1 aspect ratio, and it looks weird in general, so I need to explain. The way it's shot and the lenses they used sometimes make people look thinner, like the image was even wider and was smushed to fit into the frame. And it also has a pronounced 1970s aesthetic to it that sometimes just looks cheap. But overall, I think it works and makes it feel like a video nasty movie that John's other friends wanted him to watch. I'm giving Cabin Fever 2 Spring Fever a 6 out of 10, and I very cautiously recommend it. Much like the first movie, I like it despite its flaws. I like the original a little more, but you'll get something out of this if it sounds interesting to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.